Come along as I sharpen up these 3 kitchen essential chef knives for a restaurant on a 1x30. We're going to do a sharpen and a quick secondary bevel. Let's do it. Okay, as usual we are starting with a 120 grit Cubitron belt. These knives aren't too bad. I've been sharpening them for almost 3 years now. They're always pretty dull, having been used in the kitchen for 2 weeks, but they're never really that badly damaged. Sometimes there's a bit of damage on the tip, but otherwise they're pretty good. So we're going to do first the primary bevels. It's going to take 2 passes on each side, and then we're going to drop down and do a quick secondary bevel. The secondary bevel just takes the corner off the primary bevel and essentially aids the knife going through food, so you don't need as much pressure to push through something. When you're putting the knife down, always try and take care here that you don't grind that heel up. The knife must go as flat as possible onto the belt and start moving as quickly as possible. I can't stress that enough. If you get that heel down first and hang around there, the knife's going to end up looking like a banana. And if you don't get the heel and you hang around too much, you're going to hollow that section out and the knife won't touch the cutting board anymore. So here we've just dropped the knife down to, I don't know, probably about 5 degrees or so, just to do that secondary bevel. Nice light slow passes, checking the work there, making sure the bevel's nice and even all the way to the tip. And now onto the second knife. I have sped up the video here. I'm sure you don't want to watch me do this at real speed, but you can see the same motions here. Knife down on the belt as flat as possible, following the stroke through as smooth as possible without stopping anywhere, dropping it down to the secondary bevel and taking off the shoulder of the bevel. This knife had a little bit of tip damage, so we're just going to grind the tip from the back down and just get that point back on. Just touch the edge to take the burr off the back of the knife and round it off a bit, and then back to primary bevel. 2 passes, 1 pass on each side followed by 1 pass on each side. Gives a nice full burr all the way along. There are no significant chips, so it's a good smooth edge. And once again, here we're going to drop it down to like a nice low angle, take that shoulder off. And that concludes the primary bevel setting, and we've achieved an apex on all the knives. We're now going to go back to normal speed. Change a belt to a Trizact A30, which I believe is around about a 600 grit equivalent, and we're going to go through the motions again. So 600 grit belt on, put it on, check the tracking, and using the, I guess we're starting first on polishing the secondary bevel. So again, nice even strokes. You don't need to hang around for this, you're just polishing out the deep scratches. Using my angle guide, getting the knife flat on the platen, polishing the primary bevel. This doesn't take a lot. I just want to take out the deep scratches and reduce the burr a little bit. And there it is. First knife is done, just polishing up the spine again. Make it look good and feel nice. Into the second knife, we're going to double the speed again and get through there. While this is going at double the speed, just a quick note here, I always wear a respirator and safety glasses. I would recommend you do the same, even though I've got a vacuum pipe directly behind the belt. Dust and particles get up in the air. It's not just the steel particles that are circulating around your face, it's going to be the particles from the abrasives as well. You really don't want to be breathing any of that stuff in, especially if you're doing this on a daily basis. So better safe than sorry. And back to the sharpening, just finishing up this knife. Primary bevels. And we are done with the A30. So now we're going to use a cardboard wheel with green compound on it. So just loading that wheel up a little bit. And here what I try and do is match the angle as close as possible. This is a homemade cardboard wheel using brown boxing cardboard. So it isn't like a really hard wheel, it's got a little bit of give. If you're a little bit flatter, you're still going to polish the apex, and if you're just a little bit higher, you're not going to round it over completely. It's lightweight, fairly quick passes, and then as you flip the knife over, you can see from the residue of the compound whether you've actually got the knife where you want to or not. If you've got it halfway up the blade, you know you need to raise your angle a little bit. And that can be achieved by moving the knife either lower or higher on the wheel and keeping it on a horizontal plane. So again, just speeding this up for you. It's tricky here, you've got to angle the knife carefully so that you don't get the angled handle onto the corner of the wheel. And here I just normally check to see that there's nothing large left of that burr. You don't want to go to the felt belt with big chunks because it won't take it off. So an extra pass or two, if you're not happy with it, will save time later. And now you're going to hear a little knocking sound, and that is me knocking the knife off the box with the cable. So unfortunately I dinged the tip a little bit, but it's not really a problem, we will sort it out a little bit later. So now back onto the 1x30, and we are going to just remove whatever's left of that burr with a felt belt. I don't wipe the knives in between. There you can see the damage on that point. I don't wipe the knife between the cardboard wheel and the felt belt, so the belt picks up a little bit of the residue, continues to polish just a little bit. This method doesn't polish the edge completely, it still leaves a very good bite. So usually it's up and down, and then once on each side twice, and that takes that burr off about as properly as you can get. Again, just fast forwarding here, and then in between just checking each knife, making sure that it feels sharp, bitey, no burr left. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then one pass, one pass, one pass, and one pass. And that knife is screaming sharp. And now for the little repair. There's just a very end of that tip got bent over. As you'll see now, it was just a little bit more than I had thought. So just dipping it in a bit of water, giving it a bit of a round off. We're working on the back of the knife here, bringing the spine down. Just using lightweight, a couple of passes, and that damage is still there, so I'm taking a bit more material off on the platen. Bit of pressure, and then back onto the slack belt to round it off. And that's it, the damage is removed, the knife is sharp, and everything's good. And here we go to the Trizact A30 again, just to polish that up. Very quick. Back. Deburr, deburr. And we're good to go. And checking it. And it's good. And paper cut test. Unfortunately, you'll see here, I have kind of missed the screen with it. So we've added a cut test afterwards with some paper and some vegetable-y type stuff. Unfortunately, I kind of did the paper test off camera, so we're going to cut some real world stuff here. We'll just start with this normal paper cut test, checking the tip is sharp, making sure we've got a nice smooth cut, not looking for just slicing through the paper, checking that it can easily bite into the paper's edge. And then just for a bit of fun here, let's start with a grape. It's got that tough skin, weight of the knife easily through. Maybe take some slices here, pips, cucumber, knife skills. Try and get some thin slices here. It's pretty effortless, nice and smooth. And cabbage should be easy for most knives. And there you go. That's a knife sharpened on a 1x30 for a restaurant. Nice and easy.